Aaron Whitlow.
Brandon Spivey.
Goodness. Yeah. We are the Mark Out Movie Podcasters. And on today's episode, we are going to be discussing She Hulk, Attorney at Law. Go, let's go. Okay. Uh,
My feelings exactly.
uh, and, yeah. And before we get to that, we're going to. One thing I'm trying to do real quick is share this from. So I didn't go live on my Facebook. I went live on just our Mark Out Movie Podcast Facebook page. But I'm gonna try to share share it from here, which I can if I can find out how to do it. I'm gonna try to do that.
Hmm.
But anyway,
Hello,
uh,
world.
hello. Um, in the meantime, Brandon, we're gonna
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead and jump into. Oh, wait a minute. We have a comment. Bilfer. Hey, Bilfer.
Hey,
Thank you for tuning.
Jahan.
Um, jump into what we watched. So, if, for those that's unfamiliar with it, where we talk about what we watched during the week, I'll go ahead and start off one thing that I watched, but I'm not going to discuss it because we're gonna, the whole episode next week will be about it. I watched Halloween Ends. Yeah, it happened. Um, it, yeah. Oh, it happened. Oh, hold up.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, this is off well.
uh,
This is not so well.
yeah. So I watched Halloween Ends on Peacock, and it was pretty
Pretty bad, he says.
okay. But I'm gonna watch it again, just give it another chance to see, you know, without my because as Brandon said for Halloween Kills, I already went up with high expectations, uh, and but it wasn't dashed. I liked it. It worked out for me. Whereas with this, I went in with same level, but I should have went in with Brandon level of expectation.
I have
And
no expectations for it, so I
um,
don't think I'll hate it. That's the thing. I think I'm gonna. I got a feeling I might like it.
I got a feeling you will, honestly. Um, but yeah, so I watched that. Um, but Brandon, we can get into what you watched, and then I'll finish out what I watched.
Okay.
I'm
I,
gonna.
okay. I watched Lyle Wild Crocodile. It's a kids movie. But for me, my inner child came out. I just had a really good time with it. I was singing along with it in the theater. My head was bobbling left and right. I had a really good time with it. Javier Bardem, never seen him in that kind of role before. He was charming, deceiving. He was a mixed bag, but I thought it was a charming little movie, uh, especially for a family film. So, other than that, I watched what was it? The Disney Plus special Werewolf. What was it? At Night? Is that what it's called?
Werewolf. Werewolf by Night. Is what it's
Okay,
called.
okay. Watch that. I love that. I thought it was almost like it was very Universal Monster like in that time period, 30s, especially with the Wolfman. I thought it was a little slow at the beginning, but once it picked up, I thought it was really good. Um, but yeah, it was so much like the Universal Monster films back in the day, and oh man, I really loved that. My son didn't like it too much because it was in black and white, but I was trying to tell him that's the beauty of it. They're paying homage to Universal Monsters, so and films like that, and he just didn't care for it. But I really enjoyed it. Then I watched, see, Don't Worry, Darling, which I think is a mind trip all the way through. I still don't know how I feel about it. I haven't reviewed it on Letterboxd yet. But Florence Pugh was amazing in the role. Chris Pine's really good in the role. He wasn't featured much. Harry
What
Styles.
about yeah.
Olivia Wilde, I thought did a pretty good job directing and acting in it. I'm not a big fan of hers at all, and I don't like how she promoted the movie by bringing up Shia LaBeouf, who either quit or got fired. He shouldn't have been mentioned. But as far as the movie goes, I thought it kept my attention. I just don't know how I feel about it.
I love how you call him Shia LaBeouf and everybody else in the world calls him Shia LaBeouf. But you're probably right.
I always get to. Don't worry, darling was wild. It definitely was. It was. Then I finally saw Smile, which Aaron hates. I actually loved it. I love the trauma of it, what it can do to you, the demons you're fighting in your mind. Except in this case, it is I don't know if it's a demon or what it is, but it's an entity, and I really liked it. Where Aaron hated it and thought it was what would you say? A poor man's It Follows.
Yeah, I called it a poor man's It Follows. But yeah, those were interesting viewings. If you hear it, it's because my wife went out the door and my security system is still on. So that is what it is. All right, what I watched, I didn't get to add it to my letterbox. I haven't wrote a review yet. It's called Mahalia something. It's dumb. Whatever it is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It's dumb. It's low budget and it's boring. It's a zero for me. It's on Hulu. It's a Hulu original. What?
Zero. That's a
Yeah.
terrible score.
And then I watched Beast with Idris Elba. Brandon loved it. I gave it one half a star. I gave it half a star. I thought it was terrible. It like the lion that keeps coming. It's just it's so bad. And the little girl got on my nerves. Like I actually literally wanted that character to end up dying. Um,
Shame on
his
you,
daughter.
want a little kid to die. It's a shame.
She, she was the photog one, the one that was like, "Daddy,
Yeah.
you left the family." It just couldn't stand her. Um, he said, Bilford says, I saw Tyler Perry's new movie, Jasmine Blues, best Tyler Perry ever. I was planning on watching it. I haven't watched it yet, Bilford, but yeah, that's on my list. I did watch Night Books, which was a 2021 um, Netflix movie that it's about a little boy who gets kidnapped or abducted by a witch and is forced to write and read her scary stories every night, or he'll die. She'll kill him. And so it was really good. Sam Raimi is a producer on it, and it felt very Sam Raimi like Evil Dead like, especially in some parts of it. I thought it was an excellent thing. And on my letterbox, they gave it 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun for a good little kids horror movie. I think it's an excellent little kids movie. Um, I watched Do Revenge, which is on Netflix. It has what's her name? Ethan Hawke's daughter, and
I'm not
forget
sure.
it. Joker is in here too. Hellraiser was very bad. If you haven't seen it, don't. I didn't mind it. Um, I thought Hellraiser was. I thought it was just a. I thought it was. It wasn't bad. I thought it was a good little. It's a slasher, so they changed the formula. It's more of a slasher. So you know, but it's not the worst thing I've seen lately. That'd be how it only ends. Uh,
God.
it's sad, man. It really made me so down. But do revenge. I thought it was okay. It reminds me of Heather's. It also reminds me of Mean Girls. But I thought that it just It was just okay. So I gave it 3 stars. And Werewolf by Night, as you mentioned, I watched that as well. I thought that that was a 4 star movie. I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd. I really enjoyed it. I loved it. It felt like an old Universal monster movie to me.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we got Man Thing, who is the Marvel's version, if you will, of Swamp Thing. Both both were created at the same time. The guys that created Swamp Thing and the person that created Man Thing were roommates. It's at the same time. One worked for DC, one worked for Marvel. I don't know who stole whose idea, man. But but there you go. They came out around the same time. It's an amazing thing. Uh, Maya Hawk. Yeah, she's in Do Revenge. I just thought it was just it's all right. Did you see it, Bilfer? And what did you think? And also Joker, if you watched it. And then uh, last three. Did I mention Bodies last week?
I don't think so.
Okay. Before I get there, Clark Sisters, First Ladies of Gospel, is 1.5 star. It was a Hulu original movie. It was a Lifetime original movie, I think. But it's black biopics typically turn out, unless it's Hollywood produced, turn out pretty bad, especially made for TV ones. Unless the exception to that is the Temptations uh, miniseries. That was really a really good little uh, one. I really enjoyed that one, and that's really like a classic among the black community. But this one it was pretty bad, man. Um, but the last two things before I get to bodies, Lou. Did I mention that last week?
No.
Lou is on Netflix. I thought that was okay. I thought it was. I gave it 2.5 stars because it fell apart towards the end of it for me. But the premise about this lady who pretty much is like a badass was really cool. It's like John Wick, but just with like an old lady.
Mm.
It's fun. It's good premise. Um, but Bodies is a 5 star movie to me. It's probably one of the best things I've seen this year, and I absolutely loved it. The ending didn't ruin like I loved it. I loved everything about it. It's literally gonna be on the like towards the top of my list this year. So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah. The ending, I think, could ruin the whole movie for some people, but I loved it too. So I agree with you. It's going to be top of my list as well.
That's good. Anything else you watched before we jump into
Nothing new. Just been watching old
uh,
stuff.
yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into our discussion, which is She-Hulk season one. It's the conversation. That's what we're discussing. She-Hulk is Marvel's latest. Well, yeah, I guess just now wrapped today. Yesterday. Um, it is the okay. So it's got a lot of hate online. Uh, it's got a lot of hate. Jennifer Walters navigates the complicated life of a single 30-something attorney who also happens to be a green 6'7" superpowered Hulk. Uh, this show stars uh, Tatiana Maslany as Jennifer Walters, Ginger Gonzaga as Nikki Ramos, Malia Araya, oh no, whoever. Jamila Jamil as Tatiana, uh, uh, Titania. I'm sorry. I'm going to say I'm not familiar with a lot of these characters that was introduced. Uh, do you have? Uh, let's see, another one that I want to jump out there. Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo's here. Whatever. Um, you have Tim Roth who killed his Abomination, and lastly, somebody I want to mention is Wong, and then Cox. What's his name? Charlie Cox is Daredevil.
Yeah.
You got the.
Oh, I do. Oh, I do.
Before you jump to it, Milford says bodies, bodies, bodies. Actress Rachel Sennott is amazing. Was she the main lady? Is she the one that was in Borat? Because yeah, she was really excellent. Borat too. She was really good. I love that movie, man. I have no, literally no bad things to say about Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I absolutely loved it. Other than like Halloween, nothing positive to say.
Nothing.
It's sad. It hurts
The
me.
ending?
Not even not especially the ending. My goodness, I am not ruining it. We're gonna talk about it next week. I can't wait for you to watch it. You're gonna be the guy that loves it, and it's gonna bother the living hell out of me because because it bothered me when you didn't like Kills. It's gonna bother me that you're gonna be like, this is a 5-star movie. I can't wait. All right, uh, but let's see what she was. Shiva baby. She is the Brooklyn white girl. Oh yeah. I like. Okay, yeah, she's cool. But yeah, what's the numbers, bro? I'm sorry.
The numbers are 5.1 out of 10 on IMDb, 50% like it on Google. That's a really low score on Google. Critics love it, though. It's got 87% on Rotten Tomatoes with a 35% audience score.
Mm.
One of the lowest audience scores I've ever seen.
Well, all right. So first of all, let me say that because Brandon, I don't think he ended up liking it at the end.
I
But
hate this show.
well,
Because
see,
of
it's
the
good
season
because
finale.
when we talked about at the beginning, you like, I'm digging it. I'm really having a good
I was
time.
having fun. I was having fun with it.
And so, all right. So we first have Jennifer and Bruce getting in a car wreck, and she ends up getting his blood in her, and becomes uh, a Hulk essentially. Well, triggered that genetic gene that she has to become a Hulk, and so she then, but she can control it better than Bruce can. So, um, and also the show has a lot of fourth wall breaking, which I actually like. I thought it was going to annoy me, but it wasn't. Like literally
I didn't
the
mind it
first
at first, but it's like she just kept on doing it and doing it. I know it's it's getting ready for Deadpool. I understand that you're doing that now, but oh god, it just wasn't funny when she did it to me. It's like just shut up.
so
Get on with your
so
show. Just shut
so
up and get on with your show.
she when she seriously, honestly, most of the episodes, I dug it. Even the end, we'll talk about it when we get there.
Oh, we will.
So episode one, no more amount of rage. In this one, Jennifer Walters' world is turned upside down after a freak accident leaves her with superpowers. In this episode, we realize that she's a Hulk. She kind of gives the backstory of what happened, and then it ends with Titania busted through the courtroom like the Kool Aid Man, and Jennifer hooks up and saves the jury's life or whatever, but it was a mistrial and she loses her job because of it. Well, she doesn't lose her job until episode 2, Superhuman Law. What's your first thoughts on the first 2 episodes? We're going to match them together because Superhuman Law should be a part of this law firm.
I thought it was fun. I thought the first 2 episodes were fun. I was digging it. It was interesting to see. She didn't want to be a superhero. She didn't really want the She-Hulk. She didn't want to be that. She just wanted to be a lawyer. And I dug that aspect of it, that she didn't want this. But I don't know. I think it started losing me when she started creating the dating profile and she became She-Hulk in the dating profile. It's like, I think it's when it's the downshift started for me. Not that I was hating it, but I was starting to get a little annoyed with it.
I think that's the so her character, the Marvel comic character is that way. She's a comedic, promiscuous, like calm, a rom com type of hero. And that's I think it's her thing. But in this one, is this the one where she has to represent? Is this the one where she represents Abomination?
Yeah.
Is that her first client was Abomination, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which Tim Roth was excellent. I've always been a fan of Tim Roth ever since um, Four Rooms, actually, to be specifically, Four Rooms at movie that he was in. And then seen him later in Reservoir Dogs. Uh, and just ever since then, man, I'm a fan of Tim Roth, man. So
Good.
yeah, it's good to see him, and good to see him play it more comedic and like as a sincerely nice, seemingly nice guy. Um, and I like Emil, like the character of Emil in here, and I thought that he was really, really good. What were your thoughts on Tim Roth?
Mixed bag. Not that he played it bad or anything. He was great in the role. When you go back and you watch The Incredible Hulk, like we did, and you see the transformation he is now, talking about Abomination, it's not, it doesn't work for me.
Do you feel,
great
do you
though.
feel do you feel like Marvel does that though? Because if you think about the other character from Civil War, Civil War, the one that got Cap and uh, Captain America and Iron Man fighting one another. That guy that later came back in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
They kind of made him more of a sympathetic and like a character you like. You feel like Marvel has a tendency of just kind of doing that, like with their character, with their villains.
They have in Phase 4. They had. Oh my god. It's like, oh man. But yeah, they have a habit of doing that today, and I don't know why. Like, but I don't know a whole lot about Abomination other than what I've seen in the movies. I did read a couple of the comics where he was in the Incredible Hulk, but I don't really know if he's like an anti-hero because they're making him an anti-hero. I don't know if that's the case in the comics, but I don't know. But I just like, I don't want to get there, but when the Hulk and him fight again, oh man, I hated it so much because I remember them fighting in the Incredible Hulk movie and how awesome that was. And this looked like great value. It just looked like great value, man.
Speaking of great value,
yeah, too, with her when she's walking.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna point out. Also, by the way, I was wrong. So episode 3 is the People versus Emil Blonsky. That also is the episode with Meg the Stallion and twerking. So we will get there.
I didn't like twerking either.
Which it was okay. So real quick, speaking of the She-Hulk, I never at once thought the CGI for her looked good. I always thought it looked bad. Honestly, it looked fake. To me, her CGI looked fake all the time. Whenever she was in the Hulk form, I thought that her eyes never was really looking at the character as well. I just thought that it didn't look good, even though they did good whenever Hulk popped up. Hulk looked good. His animation looked good. But I think that with her, huh?
You think he looks smaller than he used to?
Yeah, I think he looks. Yeah, he looked smaller since Thanos beat his butt. He hasn't looked big at all. Like literally, Hulk is no longer. If they never show the Hulk ever again in MCU, that'd be fine because he's been missing. He's been missing for the last I don't know how many years. He was even missing in this. It's just so many things to say about this show, Brandon.
Oh, I
Um,
know. I
but
know.
all right, so one thing that all right, so the idea I thought okay, so when the elf dressed up like or turned into Meg the Stallion, I thought that was going to be the of it, the best of it. But then like I knew as soon as I see Meg the Stallion pop up in the courtroom, I'm like, oh, I forgot about the twerking thing. And sure enough, the end credit scene is Meg the Stallion and this She Hulk twerking, and it's terrible. It's terrible, man. I like why. I don't. I know people. There's people that probably liked it. I don't know. I just thought it was.
I, at this point,
Also, I don't know who Meg the Stallion is. I mean, I'm aware that she's a rapper, but I'm just not into that type of rap. And when I say that type of rap, I'm referring to the Cardi B's, the Meg the Stallions, the Nicki Minaj's, anyone like that. I'm not into that. I'm not into that.
I do have a
It's
question.
just yeah.
Up until this point, up to the twerking and the end credit, did you really know what this show, what its story was really about? Because I kept asking
I,
myself, what is this really about?
that's how I felt about Halloween ends. Uh, uh, yeah, but no, I was thinking, well, maybe this is kind of be like I thought it was gonna be like a Ally McBeal type of romantic comedy type of show with a superhero. I thought it was gonna be like more like a comedic type of thing, which I maybe it was. I thought Miss Marvel had a lot of comedy in it as well.
Yeah.
Um, but this is I would consider this a straight up comedy show. I don't think
Yeah.
that it has, and it's probably to its disadvantage that it does that, especially when it introduces, especially when you get other characters in this world, you then don't take them as serious, like not Matt Murdock, yeah, Matt Murdock, you know, Daredevil. You don't take him as serious because he's kind of played down, in this
Does that
show.
bother you? Because I know you're a huge fan of the Netflix
Yeah,
show.
it does because he was such a dark, no, not anti-hero, but he's very much like remind me of Batman type of character in the show, Netflix show. But in here, he's very much like neutered, like Michael Myers. Uh, I can't get over it. I can't get over what they did to my dude. You'll see for yourself. No spoilers. All right.
Oh, yeah.
What are you saying, Brandon?
I knew what they were gonna do. I knew what they were gonna do to Michael. Like
Uh,
I knew they were bringing this Corey guy in, and I knew it was
no,
gonna.
no
I'm just gonna
spoilers. No spoilers. We'll talk
I knew
about
it
it next week.
was gonna upset the diehard fan base, which I'm
Like, man,
not.
that's
Yeah, I was
why
worried
you.
about you. I was worried about you having a panic attack.
That's why you was like, I can't wait to hear your thoughts when you watch it. Blah blah blah. You just like cheeky. Like I'm gonna throw this out there, and I'm like, it's like telling somebody, oh yeah, go over it. You can enjoy that. Go right ahead. Watch this, guys. You know, that's what I felt like. But anyway, on from that episode because these episodes, I mean, so did it lose you with the twerking episode or no?
No, I never actually was totally lost until the finale. Like after episode 8, I was still thinking this is going to be between a 3 and a 3.5 for me. I was annoyed at times, but never totally lost me. And I think it had a lot to do with the people that get starred, like Wong, Hulk, Daredevil. But there was one character that came in that was like kick-ass to me. What was he near the end? The
Frog,
one,
Frogman.
yeah, I was like, this guy's like kick-ass. He can't fight, but he thinks he's a superhero. But
Yeah. It's a real character in Marvel. But
I wonder if
yeah.
you guys
So
stole it
this
from.
is this not real magic? Is the next episode, episode
Yeah.
4? That's the episode in regards to the magician who has a one of those ring things,
Mm-hmm.
and he opens a portal and puts this one girl that was like a volunteer to be his assistant in his magic, and puts her into this alternate reality, and eventually, after selling her soul to the devil, I guess she ends up
I
with
like that.
Wong. I loved. Uh, I love. First of all, I'm gonna say this, and I said this before. Give me a Wong show with just Wong, and I would be satisfied. I think that man can hold the show on his own because of just
I'll
how
do you one
charismatic.
better. Give us a Wong movie.
Give us a Wong movie. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
he's more entertaining than Doctor Strange. He's more engaging than Doctor Strange. He's more interesting. He's more everything than Doctor Strange.
I
uh,
agree.
he's better than Doctor Strange in some ways, you know. But I have a question for you this episode, though. The magician's name is Donnie Blaze. Did you misinterpret that as Johnny Blaze at first? Because I did. I was like, what? Did they just say Johnny Blaze? Is that Ghost Rider? Ghost Rider's a magician in this? I had to go look it up to find out the name because I couldn't.
Is Johnny Blaze also the name from the dude from Fantastic Four? Is that not his name?
No, I don't.
The Torch.
I don't
His
think it's
name not
Johnny
Johnny Blaze.
Blaze. I don't think it's Johnny Blaze. I do think the last name is Blaze.
But no, I thought no. At first, I thought he was trying to be like a Chris Angel type of guy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could see that. I just the name caught me off because I
Uh,
thought it said
look,
Johnny, not Donnie.
this this is actually probably one of my favorite episodes in the show, in the series right here, because I love obviously Wong, and then like uh, she talked about, oh, you all, she broke the fourth wall. Oh, why are you happy? Oh, because you got Wong. Okay, oh, I see. You know, and which yeah, I like Wong, but then I love the whole. I love the introduction to this girl that's like now Wong's BFF.
Yeah,
I liked her. Like I loved her too. I loved that
yeah,
whole.
she's great.
Yeah, I loved it, man. I
The
just really,
Disney
absolutely.
character. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed this episode actually.
Yeah. Now the sex stuff with her and her
Josh,
trying to, huh?
you talking about the sex tape?
No, well, no, no, no. This is when she had the hookup with the doctor,
Oh
uh,
yeah, that guy. Okay, not Josh.
and
Think I'm
yeah, and then but then I don't know if it's the next episode or this episode that opens with him going home. Like, yeah,
sees who
I'm
she
good.
really is. Yeah, that's
I felt bad for her. Honestly, and that's one thing and I can understand it with her character. She doesn't know whether she wants to lean it to being Jennifer or being the Hulk. And who does anybody want? Some people want the Hulk. Some people just want Jennifer. And that's why she's so captivated by this other guy that takes interest in her later on. Is because he wants her for her, and not so much for the Hulk. But but there's a lot of people. A lot of things are very telegraphed. Like the guy, the villain dude with the rich guy. You know
yeah,
what I'm talking about? That was asking her, hey, so what can penetrate your skin? Like I'm like, dude, I don't trust him at all. I knew he was gonna be a villain. I wasn't surprised. I was like, oh my gosh, you know.
yeah. It's just he was a weak villain, you know. And I didn't understand. Well, I know we're not there yet, but I didn't understand why Abomination was there at that meeting.
Well,
Is
it
he?
was at his compound. They was having it at his compound, and he was the special guest there. But he was there because he thought it was more of a motivational thing. He
Yeah,
wasn't that as like Abomination has turned a new leaf. He's not a villain. He's like he's just trying to motivate them, but he didn't realize their motivation is like I hate the She-Hulk or female superheroes. Cause that's stupid. Come on,
Yeah, I
that's
didn't
stupid.
understand the motivation for people hating her because she's a woman. And I feel like they're thinking people that hate this show is because of that. But overall, I think people really liked Miss Marvel. Maybe not Captain Marvel, but Miss
I
Marvel.
like the new Hawkeye. I don't know if I call her Hawkeye, but I like her.
Yeah,
If they came out tomorrow and say, well, hey, yeah, she is now Hawkeye, then I would definitely call her Hawkeye. I thought she was really great. Kate, uh, yeah, Kate, I believe is her name. Yeah, I absolutely loved her.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, no, I think that it, but I think it was a stab at like the She-Hulk or Jane Thor. I mean Jane Thor. I said She-Hulk. My bad. Jane the Thor, Lady Thor. I, I think that it was more of a slight at her because they said uh, Lady Thor. What's that about? Um, but no, the Magic episode was fun. Let me see. The next episode we have. If you have anything you want to ask in between, uh, let me know. It's called Mean Green and Straightforward into these genes. This episode, She-Hulk discovers Titania owns the name She-Hulk and
Oh,
is suing her for trademark infringement.
yeah.
Um,
I just thought that was filler episode. Really?
absolutely.
What's that?
I said absolutely. Yeah, it was a filler episode. I felt like. Uh,
It didn't do
I
anything for
never,
me.
I never bought Titania as like a villain. Like she just like maybe it's because I seen her, the lady that plays her. She was in Happy uh Happy Place or whatever that show was. About like being dead and being what you think is heaven or whatever.
Oh,
She was in the
was
show.
is that with Ted Danson?
Yeah, Ted Danson and
I
Kristen
seen
Bell.
like the pilot, but I didn't continue it. It didn't wow
Oh
me.
wow, it didn't well you. Oh. But yeah, she's in that show, and I just don't buy her as a villain. I don't buy her as a villain at all. Um, that's my own fault. If you cast Marlon Wayans as the villain and something, I'm looking at you like whatever, bro.
Well, I mean, I think he's proven himself as an actor though recently. Like dramatic stuff because he was what's her name, Aretha Franklin's husband, abusive
Yeah,
husband. Like I thought he was great in that. I was like, man, I never seen it side of Marlon before. It's like I didn't like it, but I was like, I never seen that side before. I was like, man, he's really grown as an actor, because you think of Marlon, you think of the TV shows he's done, or you think of White Chicks, or Senseless. I don't think of Abusive Husband, but
the
I
six
noticed I
tuplets.
didn't mention G.I. Joe at all.
I know you didn't mention six tuplets.
Since what?
The
Oh
word.
no, I would never mention. Oh, that was awful. That was awful. I don't know what that was a paycheck movie for him, as he likes to say. I did that for the paycheck. It's bills to pay off.
But yeah, I think that so all right, let me move on from there because that the episode I thought Brandon was gonna like it more than he clearly didn't. So it's kind of throwing me off. Uh, um, let's get to the next episode to discuss is Just Jen, which it opened with the Just Jen, um, and that's
Yeah,
the one. That's the wedding. That's the one that Titania comes to the wedding, and that was dumb. I kind of knew that the guy was up to no good. I just don't trust any guy in the show, honestly, and that's bad because like the guy that works at her law firm is actually really a good friend. The dude that loves sneakers, that guy.
yeah.
Uh, but at first I was like, well, he's gonna double cross somebody, but it's just he was actually a decent guy. Um, yeah, we're just gonna go and skip through all these, and then there's the retreat, which I love that episode. That's another good
Yeah, that was
episode.
a good episode. The
I
therapy
love these.
sessions.
This one dude that thinks he's a vampire, or is he a vampire? I don't know. I don't know if he is or not. But and then a porcupine.
He thinks he is, at least. Yeah, the porcupine was weird. Like it was just weird. But I like the whole group thing. It reminded me of anger management, actually. When Adam Sandler first meets the doctor and all that.
Mhm.
That whole thing, I don't have a problem. I'm just here. But I liked that episode a lot. I kept thinking though, Tim Roth's going to turn bad throughout the whole season. I was like, man, Abomination's not going to be a good guy. But like I said, I loved how Tim Roth played it. I don't like Abomination's look today.
The new modern look with the gills or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't look right to me. But I thought that episode was really good, and there was a lot of healing for her because she really isn't comfortable as Jen. She doesn't understand why people don't like her as herself. Why she has to talk to be liked.
In this episode, you got to realize that she's been ghosted by the guy that she's catching feelings for, Josh.
Yeah,
you know the name for the guy.
Yeah, the name for the guy.
But yeah, I felt for her, and I love this. I love that she felt like she got a tribe with these people at this retreat, which I thought is like once again I didn't trust them at first, but if they were legitimately there, like they said, Josh must die, and they were ready to go to war for, and the vampire was ready to suck the blood for Josh. I loved it. I loved that episode. I thought if the show was more of that, like just there, it would be really cool. Just like to see interactions between those people. But I like that episode. Anything else you want to mention about that episode specifically?
I did like the fight before when she was visiting him. I think it's that same episode. And these couple guys get into a fight and mess up her car.
Bullman or Man Bull?
Yeah. I was like, what is this? Like these characters, I like when they first appear, it's like, what is this? It's just.
And what is he said he's a swashbuckler or something? He's not an El Matador. I'm not an El Matador. That's so funny.
But yeah, it was just bizarre at first when you meet these people. It's just like, it's why I kept asking myself, what is this show really about? I mean, what is the story here? But at the end of the day, I think the story before the finale was that she was trying to find herself, and then She-Hulk, and she's got to balance it.
So, we start the next episode, which is Ribbit and Rip It, with a guy by the name of the Frog or the Frogman. I don't know. Anyway,
Leapfrog, maybe.
Leapfrog, yeah. He is. You said it. He's kick ass, essentially.
Yeah, it's the first thing I thought of when I saw him. I was like, he's kick ass. He's a superhero.
Yeah, whose stuff doesn't really work, and he's suing the dude that makes her suits for like wardrobe malfunction, essentially. And he's represented by Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, and then they started a romantic type of thing, but then we get to see Daredevil, and this is your first time seeing Daredevil. What were your thoughts on him?
Well, I did see the pilot to the Netflix show, but I couldn't really tell you my thoughts on it because I just didn't see the whole thing. I didn't see everything evolve. But my thoughts on this interpretation, like he was fun, He gained my interest. I was very interested in him. I was like, man, he's made this show better, which I think a lot of the guest stars did that. So I'm interested in watching this show now because I liked it, but at the same time, I know I haven't seen the Netflix show, and I know it's much darker. And I hate that they're. This is my fear for Deadpool as well. Like they're going to tone him down, and I feel like they're going to tone down these R-rated characters to make them fit more in the MCU, which I don't like the direction the MCU's at. It's not where they're going. I just don't like where they're at.
Yeah.
It feels like a whole different universe, but
Yeah, I did like that Deadpool pops up, and then like she realized towards the end, like, oh, it should have concluded, but this isn't the conclusion. Oh, we still have more show left. Oh, this must be the penultimate episode, and so uh, we have something that happened. Like she gets, which was I felt for her because it's rude, man. They exposed her, made her like slut, like what they call slut shamed or something like that,
yeah,
where they made her feel they're shaming her for not they unfortunately shaming her because she's a Hulk, because they try to make her appear like she's like um a very promiscuous person, uh and they released like a sex tape on her of her, which I thought that was very. I felt bad for her.
yeah.
I felt bad for her, and
And she gets
yeah.
angry.
Oh, let me ask you something. The whole time, be honest with me, Brandon. Did you feel like the other lady lawyer? I hate saying that, female lawyer. It sounds so sexist. But the other lawyer, there's a lady that worked at her law firm. Did you feel like she was up to no good, or did you at any time feel like she was like not being completely honest with her or anything?
No, I never felt that. She was just to me, she was just a character that was there. She really didn't serve a purpose. She's just a
For,
friend. She's
for
just
me, I felt that way, and the reason why I felt that way is because she was in the good wife. I think she might be also in the Good Fight as well, but she's in the Good Wife, and she plays like one of those attorneys that is always going up against the main attorney, and she's like kind of cutthroat.
yeah.
And so I think that that's why they cast her in the show to throw those that are familiar with her off, to think, well, she's going to be a cutthroat. Um, but yeah, but she wasn't. She actually still had her best interest at heart. Um, yeah.
So
Um,
we've gotten to the season 8.
no, we there. Season 9, episode 9. Whose
But
show is this?
before we get there, what was your expectations for the finale after watching them shame her?
I thought before watching, I thought, well, she's gonna try to get to the bottom of who it is that was doing this, and get revenge on them, like a fight maybe or
Yeah.
something, and take them out. That's not what we got at all.
No.
Well, we started to, but
Yeah, you
then
started to, and
like, how did you think about that before she stopped everything and redid everything? What were your thoughts up to that point?
uh, like when Abomination shows up at the meeting, I was like, yes, he's, he's pulled a fast one on her. This is gonna bring Hulk, and we're gonna get that fight. It's gonna be awesome, and then you kind of get it, and it's like it's great value, but the main villain of the show, when he takes her blood, and which was the whole point of the set tape, to get her blood, um to turn himself into a Hulk. I was like, that's dumb. But when he was turning into the Hulk, I was like, he kind of looks bigger than the actual Incredible Hulk. He looks bigger. But I will say about this: when this show starts, the finale starts, and it's paying homage to the original Incredible Hulk show. I love that. I
Oh
really
yeah,
I was like,
I love
yeah.
that.
I was
I,
like,
I was about that. I love that. Yeah.
I
Even
was,
had like a big stand-in, like they did with Lou Ferrigno, but with the
yeah,
woman in the building,
yeah,
as like as a Savage Hulk is what they call it, Savage She-Hulk. Uh, but yeah, I like that. Now when we got to this point where they stopped the fight, or there's fighting, like the Hulk pops up and Titanium pops up and there's this big fight going on, and she stops the show. She says, "This is off the rails. This is not right." And let me tell you, when it backs off into the Disney Plus menu, at first I thought, "Oh, did it just cut off?" That's what I thought. I was like, "What just happened?" And then she starts talking because it stops and it settles down like it is the Disney Plus menu, the way it does, and it settles back down. And I'm like, and then like you can hear it talking. I'm like, I said, "Oh man," I was like, "This is another level of breaking the fourth wall." And then she breaks through the She-Hulk thing, and then like looks to see where she's gonna go into.
mm-hmm.
And I assume into any one of those would have been her going into that world, whatever. She ends up going into like the symbol, which is like behind the scenes, and it's at the lot. But she tears up Loki to do it. She
Yep.
she destroys Loki. So I wonder if Loki's gonna be messed up come next season of Loki. Uh,
Do you want to know my thoughts at this point?
oh, what? Oh,
I
Lord,
had
man.
to pause the show. I was like, I was angry. I was hulking up to say, I got on Facebook. I posted a very angry post that I later deleted.
What was the post?
Oh
What did
man,
you say?
I said they ruined Marvel. I said I deleted it, but I was like they ruined Marvel. They made Marvel a joke doing this. Everything they built in this world, the sacrifice of Iron Man, Steve Rogers going back in time. Please go back in time and save Iron Man from this crap. I mean, I was so angry what they did in that last episode. I was like, I felt they ruined everything they've done before. The first three
This
phases.
is before. This is before she went into. This is before she even went into the Marvel Studios.
The writers, the Kevin. It's like I had to pause it because I knew it was going in a direction that I didn't want it to go into, and I just got so angry. Oh man, I was like, I'm done. And my review on Letterboxd is angry. At the end of the review, I say, "F you, Marvel." I'm done. I'm done. You've lost me as a fan. I'm done. And
oh, Brandon.
And I don't usually get angry at movies or shows. I may not like them, but this made me angry because we've been following this for over a decade, and they do this. It just made it, to me, it made it feel like Iron Man's sacrifice meant nothing. Breaking the fourth wall like that, I just hated it. I still hate it. Then you get
wait a minute.
Okay.
I have no words for what I witnessed in the finale. It totally ruined my experience. I mean, there was things I disliked before, but I was enjoying it a lot as well. But the finale ruined the experience. Phase 4 has really sucked overall. I mean, what the hell has happened to this universe? How do we go from Tony sacrificing himself in Endgame and Steve going back in time to this crap we get in Phase 4? It's all a joke. OMG. It made everything pointless and just took a massive jump on all the foundations that has been built since Iron Man. I have no faith in the universe moving forward. They lost me. F you, Marvel. Brandon's words. Brandon's words.
I was angry.
1 star. 1 star. Oh my gosh. That's brilliant. All right. Um, that's funny. Brandon has literally said, "To hell with this." All right, I love it. Brandon.
Yes.
So, what was your thoughts when you went to the studio, the writers' room, and then she met Kevin, and he's like, "I need you to change back to the human form because it's cheaper to film you, and but
Yeah.
do it change off camera."
Yeah. I was, I was angry. I was like, just end this show, please. And I saw some people asking, where do you want to see She-Hulk next? And
Hmm.
my thoughts, I was like, nowhere. I don't want her back in this. If this is what it's going to be, I'm not watching.
Yeah,
I'm not. And like first 8 episodes, I was still going to give a positive review. I really was. But that final episode, whew, I have never watched anything that made me this angry. Probably since Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Did you break
Can
your?
you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Bear with me. So yeah, I accidentally went to scratch my ear and hit my headphones. So okay, that's fine. Let me.
Aaron's having some technical difficulties over there.
Oh,
But ladies and gentlemen, what did you think of this show? Did you like it? Did you hate it?
give
Were
me a
you
moment.
middle? What's that, Aaron?
Keep talking, Brandon.
All right. Okay, so what did y'all think of this show? Let us know in the comments.
Let's see. Let's just go ahead. Audio.
But yeah, I really hated that finale. Oh God, it made me so angry. Whew. Man.
All right, I'm back. All
Okay.
right, so yeah, the headphones I messed up, but anyway, so we go ahead and give our thoughts on it. So hey,
Well, did you like the
the whole
finale?
the whole no, it was there. It was just that it happened. It was the weirdest finale. She sued them. It's, it makes sense. She's a lawyer. She didn't want to fight crime. She sued them legally,
But
and
my problem
uh,
is
the Hulk said has a son.
oh, like where did that come from? Just where did that come from? Oh, by the way, I have a son that's at least 16 to 17 years old by the looks of him. I mean,
How long was he stranded on the other planet? Like, what happened?
I don't know. It's
Maybe
definitely
he.
not Natasha's because she never was pregnant.
No, she can't. She couldn't have kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, and okay, yeah, the show. So we've done journey from Captain America, the first Avenger, all the way to She-Hulk, attorney at law.
You know what I don't
Yeah.
understand in
Look,
this phase? What they were saying, okay, they're saying that it's a show within a show. I get that, but everything before this show in this phase 4 has built it like everything's been real. Like they're celebrities and such, these superheroes. And what they did in that finale, I felt just it ruined it all. Everything they've built. I truly believe that. I felt that it's been ruined.
yeah.
I don't understand why they did it. I really don't. But that's some fourth wall, and it should have been fourth walled. Like,
yeah.
I thought it was an insult. Just everything.
Yeah, I agree. I think that ultimately, let's go ahead and give our marks for this show.
I'm gonna give 2 marks for it. I'm gonna give from episode 1 to 8. Then my final for what the last episode did. I'll go ahead. I'll give it 3 out of 5 from 1 through 8, and a 1 overall for that final episode. Just it ruined my whole experience.
All right. We're gonna do it that way. I give it 3 out of 5 for 1 through 8, but then the last episode, I would give it 2 because I was like, okay, we're doing this. We're gonna do this. I'm here for it. Let's see what happens. But it just ultimately, I was like, this show just happened. That's how I felt afterwards. Kind of like I felt like after Halloween ends.
Wow, this just happened. They did this.
I didn't get a chance to watch Halloween 2018 or Halloween Kills before I watched Halloween Ends again.
I've heard some people say that they should have just ended it with Halloween 2018. That would have been a perfect ending. Which I kind of agree. I don't understand a lot. Like, I don't understand the time jump. I don't know if that's explained or not. I don't understand why you bring in a new character like they do. I don't understand why Michael takes a back seat. I don't understand anything I've heard.
We got to watch it. You got to watch it. We're going to discuss it next week. And then after next week, I believe we're going to do Hell House LLC. It's on Prime, so you'll be able to watch it. It'll be interesting to get your take on that movie. But yeah, so this week, Brandon, what's your plans to see in the theaters?
Oh, I'm planning to see the Amsterdam movie with that huge cast: Christian Bale, Robert De Niro. What is her name? I can't think of her name now. The one that plays Harley Quinn. It's just escaping me. Anyway, that movie.
Margot Robbie,
right? That movie. I'm planning to see Halloween Ends, and I'm gonna try my best to see Terrifier 2 since it's coming back.
Is your issue with Terrifier 2 is because of the length in it?
Yeah, I don't understand how it could be 2.5 hours if it's going to be basically the same thing as the first one, because the first one basically had no story. I don't know.
All right, man.
Good, but
we're going to end this right now. Grandkids crying. Aaron Whitlow.
Brandon Spivey.
Thanks for marking out with us.